Skylanders Spyro's Adventure is a 3D action-adventure platformer, which uses near-field communication technology to allow players to bring their toys to life. The version I played was developed by Toys for Bob for the Wii and published by Activision in 2011. In the realm of Skylanders, the player takes on the role of a portal master who is able to control 32 different Skylanders by placing their real-life in-person figurine or simply their toy on what's called a portal of power, which then allows the player to control and assume the role of the character within the Skylands and embark on a journey to defeat chaos and its evil forces to save the world. In this video essay, I will attempt to explain why this game made a profound impact on me as a person through psychodynamic theories, personal motivations, and through the game's mechanics, narrative, and aesthetics. My earliest memories of playing with toys was with Pokemon figurines, and I can only imagine how many times I took out my bag or box of figurines and played with them, embodying the energy of that creature and simulating what's basically legal dogfighting through imaginative play. Pokemon will always be a form of personal expression, but also a form of escapism from the growing pains that I was faced with as a child, and even to this day, I still find myself revisiting that world in whatever way I can. With that being said, Pokemon is most likely what has influenced me to pursue the path that I am taking right now. So how does Skylanders relate to Pokemon? I guess you could say that I was surprised when my parents bought me a new game that I had never interacted with before, which was Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. Retrospectively, this game is one of the most obvious signs that despite my parents' busy schedules, they truly understood me and chose accordingly what kind of game I would like to spend hours playing, virtually on the screen but also tactilely. Well done, parents. This leads the discussion to the process of embodying an avatar, specifically through the lens of Lacan's theory on the other. Lacan describes the process of othering as the recognition of the self, the inner bounds of our conscious and unconscious, otherwise known as what we know to be true about ourselves, and the other, which is the way in which we perceive ourselves through the influences of exterior forces. In this case of Skylanders, and arguably in most games, the other is the player recognizing oneself as the avatar that they control, while still recognizing that their self has not changed. Skylanders is a game all about being able to choose, or embody, a character to progress through the digital space of the game. Having a figurine of a Skylander is part of the core mechanics of the game, and in some cases required to unlock certain areas for each chapter. Thus, it's important to recognize that despite the other changing through the game's influences, the self remains the same. What's different about Skylanders compared to Pokemon is that I was able to relate far more to the embodiment of being a creature through Skylanders, compared to the embodiment of only being the trainer in a Pokemon game, which I suppose is the reason why I feel stronger connection between the embodiment of a creature within my play of Pokemon figurines and in the in-game avatar that I choose to play in Skylanders. Adding to this notion of embodiment, Jung's theory of introversion supports my reasoning as to why Skylanders became rapidly attractive to me at the time, and that's because my own personal internal fulfillment was being satiated through my tendency to embody the other in moments of play, whether that be through physical or virtual. In a sense, I was basically able to fulfill my wishes of being able to play as a creature adjacent to a Pokemon, and was able to bring me catharsis by allowing me to tangibly visualize my imaginative play through the game. I mean, the similarities speak for themselves. Both games operate under an element-based rock-paper-scissors mechanic, and the variety of challenges range from topographical blockades to bosses designed to be beaten at the end of a chapter to progress through the story. The differences lie within the differing genres and content, and by content, I mean having to buy more toys to make the game easier to complete or enjoy. Hooray, capitalism! Furthermore, I believe another part as to why I personally enjoy the game didn't lie on whether I had all 32 playable characters in Skylanders at that time, despite knowing that part of its appeal was to be able to play as a range of characters. It was the world building, the gameplay, and the wide range of visual and auditory candy that drew me in, as it allowed me to interact with the world that was built for personal expression, albeit limited to the Skylanders that you did have. Through Lacan's theory of desire, the game is designed with the intention to allow players to choose specific characters to play, such as having bonuses for specific Skylander types or unlocking a new area by having a specific element of a Skylander. Furthermore, each Skylander can be upgraded to have stronger abilities, which encourages players to try different options and to play as different characters. Upon completion of the story campaign, not much other content is unlocked for the player, and so with the completion comes the disappointment of being unable to experience the game the same way. However, since that wasn't what motivated me to play the game, nothing was stopping me from booting up a new save and starting over due to the exploration of all the other possible outcomes, which would only increase as my collection of Skylanders grew. Overall, upon reflection, this game allowed me to enjoy my niche and to explore my own personal likings of a game in a way that I was unable to experience before, and yet it was so familiar at the same time. My connection to this game from a psychoanalytical perspective is shown through my own internal motivations, which inspired the way in which I played the video game. The discussion of embodiment serves to further reinforce the importance in which I was allowed to tangibly play with my toys, and to play with them to the extent that gave me joy that I now reminisce as an adult.